Hey everyone, it's Greg. Want to talk to you for a minute about our Patreon offerings. For countless hours of exclusive content, head on over to patreon.com/Katya and Craig and see which option works best for you. For $5 a month, you get bonus episodes. For $7 a month, you get the bonus episodes and listener questions episodes. For $10 a month, you get all of the above, plus Movie Club. That's right, Movie Club. We did Suspiria, Steel Magnolias, we did Scream with Miss Tracy Mardell, as well as Contact. Coming soon, we have Laganja Estranja joining us for Waiting for Guffman. Tickets are on sale for Katya's one-woman show, Help Me I'm Dying. Head on over to WeLoveKatya.com and snatch them up now. And in other news, we're nominated for a Queerty Award and thrilled to be in such fine company as Willem and Alaska's Race Chaser, RuPaul's What's the Tea, and other offerings. If you head on over to Queerty.com, you can vote once a day on each device, and we thank you very much for your support.
A Russian ballerina, stomping on a bureaucrat. A perky suburban housewife who just got into scat. It's whimsically volatile.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the complex multi-talents of the indomitable, the incomparable, the often replicated but never quite duplicated. She is the Indiana Jones of the female crotch. She is a tireless and fearless explorer of all things wet, mysterious, and murky below the border on the female biological woman. That's right, we're talking about Remy Kassimir!
That was a little weird.
That was amazing.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I feel like more of an expert than
Oh, good.
I previously did.
You are an expert.
Yeah, definitely. And also with us is your sister.
Yes, my sister and my co-producer of my podcast and the head of research department, which consists of one researcher, Mrs. Charlotte Kassimir.
Woo!
Hey.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
How separated are you?
We
in
are
terms of-
3.5 years apart.
Okay.
I am older.
Older. And then do you have any other siblings?
We have 2 older brothers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Both Jews?
Both Jews.
Oh, that's a shame.
Strangely, that's how it works.
Yeah. Oh, is
Same-
it?
Four in the same family.
Has
Wow.
Jewish parents as well.
Oh,
It's so
damn.
strange.
You really are up against it.
Yeah.
That's the sad
Like
thing,
statistically, there shouldn't be so many Jews in our family. The nose is fake, but you
Did
know
you get
that.
a nose job?
I did. I think I was self-conscious about something that didn't really, it wasn't actually a problem.
Well,
You actually
like
have a
in the-
beautiful nose. As
Thanks.
do you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charlotte's is all natural.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, like that Lady Gaga movie where she's like, I'm too ugly, my nose. I was like, Mary, you're gorgeous. Like,
Oh.
what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
See, I agree with her. I don't like her face. I don't. And I can say that. Listen, I can say that because everyone tells me I look just like her. So I'm just basically saying I don't like my own face.
Oh.
Wah, wah. But
Oh,
like,
I don't see that at all.
But yeah. Oh, thank you.
yeah, I don't.
But
I
yeah,
honestly
I
don't.
get really, I'm like, oh, I got a nose job so we don't look alike.
Just to separate yourself from that dog.
I was just like,
Lady
there's going to
Gaga.
be a girl coming up named Geronimus that I'm going to want. I want to be different then.
Oh my god.
We were talking before the mics went on about school days, and you went to BU.
Mm-hmm. We both went to
Yeah,
BU.
That's right,
Yeah.
you did.
When,
yeah.
when were you there?
I graduated 2011.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was way earlier. Back when you could smoke in the dorms.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Can you imagine that?
In the cement,
Yeah.
no window dorm.
Yeah, like it was a repurposed. It was actually on the campus of Simmons College.
Oh, okay, yeah. One of the sister colleges.
Yeah. On the jewels of the Fenway, the emerald necklace.
Oh, yeah, certainly, certainly.
And with a bunch of like rich Lebanese and Romanian kids, and we just smoke. And they all did like mushrooms and acid, but I would just smoke. And
They have like Range Rovers and they're an SMG.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, my favorite thing about BU was those abbreviations for the schools,
schools.
and then what people really called them.
Yeah. Oh,
like
what are those?
SMG, the School of Management, was
Yeah.
Sex,
Yeah.
Money, and Greed.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
My favorite one though was the College of
College of-
General Studies.
Yeah.
CGS, crayons, glue, and scissors.
I was I didn't know that it had such a stigma when I was applying.
Is that because it's easy or something?
Yeah, it was for like idiots and athletes. Like, and it was like the easy way into BU. And the thing is like, I'm a smart person. Like, I just thought, oh, that sounds interesting. Like, you learn about a bunch of stuff for the first 2 years before you decide what you want to do.
Right.
And I had applied ED2 without telling anybody. I was just like, I just want to be like locked in so that like I don't have to get good grades anymore. Like, I can just chill.
Yeah.
And my dad received the letter that was like, you have been accepted and like are legally bound now to go to the College of General Studies. And he's like, what?
Fuck.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I got like waitlisted at NYU, but like tentatively admitted to their version of that, and I was like very proud, and I was like, no,
like, I'm not gonna be
fuck you. But actually, it is a great idea. It's like you have 2 years of like, because in the first 2 years of college, nobody knows what the fuck
I
they're
know
doing
so much
anyways.
about like Chinese and Russian history.
There you go.
Unnecessary.
There you go. Yeah, SFA or was the School of False Ambition.
Ooh,
that was
I like
like
that.
the art,
Yeah.
the acting school.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's great. And CAS. I was in College of Apathetic Studies.
I was in CAS too.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great.
Good times.
But the dorm that you were almost in, Warren
Towers.
Yeah.
The hellhole.
Yeah, the hellhole.
Yeah.
That
3
was Warren
circles of hell.
Towers.
Yeah.
Hellhole.
I almost got not arrested, but like in trouble in Warren Towers. Like the one time I went there to party, like there was like a dorm. Like my friend was in there with like a boy and a lot of beer, and I like went in and I hadn't even drank anything, like literally hadn't drank anything because I don't like beer. Like I am a snob, and
You like Diet Coke.
that's it.
Yeah, very pure taste.
And the like college like police or whatever came. They like dressed like Mounties in Boston for some reason, and they were gonna get me in trouble. And it was on my grandmother's birthday, and I started crying crocodile tears. I was like, I don't even drink. I don't even know. Like I've only been here like 15 minutes. And like they were just like, okay, fine, we're gonna leave you out of the report. And I was like, yes.
Those people are the worst people in the world.
The
Campo. That's
Campo.
what we call them.
Yeah.
Campus security.
Yeah.
Like they're not police, but they have egos.
They don't have
Like,
guns though, right?
and
They don't have
can't
guns.
do
Got
shit.
little
And power trips.
flashlights.
They
Yeah.
power trip like
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe. My friend talked back and like gave him 6 points, and you get 10 and you get expelled.
Wow.
Are you serious?
What?
Wow. Power trips.
That's so Hogwartsy of you guys. We don't
Yeah.
have points.
How does one get into being a campus police person? Is it their fellow
You're
students?
just like
Is
fucking angry, and you're like,
Yeah,
what can I do with
sociopath.
this?
Yeah. How can I take it out on everyone else? Yeah.
Oh God.
I guess it's like being an RA.
And also, BU's like $40,000 a year or more,
It's crazy.
or 50 or
That
something.
was the
like
other thing that my dad was like, you just committed me to that or yourself to debt, or like
It
we
is
have to
awful.
yeah
It is rotten.
Yeah.
I did 1 year and then took 20,000. I had to take $20,000 in loans from that 1 year.
yeah
Oh my god.
And yeah, it was awful.
it's so
Yeah.
awful.
but you know Howard Stern went to BU, so.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. And Gina Davis.
Martin Luther King for a little bit.
There you go.
Wow.
Elvis Presley.
No
No.
No, it's
Marilyn Monroe.
That's right. Marilyn Monroe. That's right. That's
Well, here's
right.
the least cool thing. Toby from The Office went to my college.
I love that.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that trumps everything. Where did you go?
Hamilton.
Hamilton?
It's very small.
Is that okay? Do you like
1,800
1,800 total?
total.
It's so tiny, and it's in
shit.
upstate New York, and there's cow crossing signs up there.
Oh,
It's
wow.
an insane place.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How did you land on Hamilton as your choice?
Honestly, I think same with her. I was just not into the college process for some reason, and
Yeah.
applied ED2 because I knew I could get in.
That's early decision.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I just
Let it
Erectile
go.
dysfunction too.
A lot of acronyms and lingo
well,
coming
I
at
had
you on
ED
WD
about
today.
the whole college process.
Yeah.
But really, I was visiting Colgate, and my friend went to Hamilton. They're 15 minutes away from each other. He's like, Charlotte.
That's the toothpaste capital,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, if you don't come by, they're 15 minutes. I'll be so mad. It was a beautiful spring day. Sun was shining. I was like, this
You
place
had
is
no
nice.
idea.
I didn't
This'll
even
do. Yeah.
tour. And I just applied. It was,
Yeah.
I think, the least preparation I've ever done for anything.
So wait, they had like a walk-up window or something?
She's like, I'd like my ticket to school, please.
Do you have soda?
One student. Yeah.
Thank you.
One education, please.
Oh God, I wanted to go to. You ever heard of Sarah Lawrence College?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I
10
wanted
things
to
I hate
go.
about
Yeah, I
you.
was
She
gonna
wanted to
say.
go there.
Oh really?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
like what's her face? Julia Stiles,
Yeah.
the character, was like, all I want to do is go to Sarah Lawrence.
That was me.
Yeah, sick. Sick.
rejected.
Oh man.
And I was so sad. Like I was really, really bummed out. And then turns out it's like $120,000 a year or
That's
something crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, it would have been a nightmare.
It's not like a religious school, is it?
No. But they have like their ratio. It was like all girls school for a while, and I think their ratio is like.
Then they added in some boys that can hang.
Yeah, totally. It's like I think probably now it's like close to like even, but I think it was like 60-40 or like 70-30 when I was visiting.
So that's good. You got a lot of dates.
Yeah.
When you visited, I mean.
Yeah. It was. But I don't. Oh, it seems so like. I was like really into the idea of being academically motivated, and so it fit the bill. But thank God I didn't go. I probably would have killed myself from the dead. Yeah.
Well, because it's remote, right? Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere. But one of the famous alumni, Brian De Palma.
He went there?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
And then he went back and taught a course there and actually did, for the class, they made a movie, and actually released a movie called Home Movies with Kirk Douglas. Yeah.
Wow.
Who is he?
Damn.
Brian De Palma, director of Scarface and Body Double.
Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie.
Oh, I don't like things with blood.
Yeah, you might not like his films.
Those two, they're in the blood category.
I just
of blood.
binge watched 3 seasons of the show Hannibal. Speaking of blood,
Oh God,
it is so grisly
Why?
and gruesome.
Why do you like this?
Well,
I don't like being scared. I'm scared right now just hearing about it.
And I did it like it became like a masochistic kind of thing where I was like 10 episodes in on the same day, and I'm like, I feel very uncomfortable. And I should have gone to bed a while ago, but now I'm afraid to go to bed. So I'll watch another episode. It was it was
like maybe
really
it
rotten.
will be resolved next episode and I'll feel better.
There's so much blood.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it is. One of my friends who's a comic has a bit about how convenient the name Hannibal is for a cannibal.
Yeah.
And I used to think about that when I was younger all the time. I was like, are the adults all buying this? Like everyone's just cool with this cannibal named Hannibal? Jesus.
Yeah. Well, wait a second. You don't like shows with blood, and didn't you tell me the other day you're obsessed
I
with
love
True Blood?
Yeah, but that's like
different.
that's more
It was sexy.
sex.
Yeah, the sex outweighs.
And a lot of the blood is synthetic. They say it. The true blood is
Well, I
not
get
real
that.
blood.
Yeah, I get that,
Yeah.
but still.
It's made in a lab.
That's
yeah,
right.
it's made in a lab
Yeah.
in Japan.
Yeah. I fucking loved True Blood.
I know.
Love.
I
Eric
was telling
Northman.
Craig that I had a True Blood themed birthday party in college. My whole apartment was,
That was fun.
Fantasia.
Oh my God.
It was so sick. Yeah.
Yeah, Pam from True Blood, that character is probably one of my
love
favorite
her.
TV characters
She's
of all
amazing.
time.
Yeah.
Her and
So
Eric's
good.
relationship were just the best.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
So good.
I was telling Remy yesterday on another show that this is what I know of True Blood because my ex was watching it while I was doing editing, or rather while I was editing, not doing editing. And so because of the volume on the show, this is all I heard. Where's that Stackhouse girl? And then, and then someone getting, brutally murdered, and then nothing. And then, where the hell is that Stackhouse girl?
They found something that worked,
Yeah.
and they did
And
it
they
for
went with it.
years.
Yeah. That's every once in a while.
Suck
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's
Awful.
fun.
That and was it Stephen Moyer or Bill?
Yeah.
Bill Moyer.
Bill Moyer. Wait,
Stephen Moyer. No,
Moyer.
Stephen Moyer.
He's the worst Southern accent.
I didn't even
ever.
know it was fake, honestly, for a while. And then I found out he was
Oh,
like
God.
British or some shit. And I was like,
It was like it kind of like it let the show off the hook in a way where you didn't expect all that much.
Yeah.
So you really got a lot. Like
Totally. Low expectations.
I don't know,
Yeah.
you guys. I was really emotionally involved. Like when they first had sex, like I bought the song that they did it to, and I would like cry to sleep. I'm a loser.
I just love that fucking Menad and everybody's all black eyed and an orgy.
Oh, that was the
season. Was it
best.
season 2? It's
2 or 3.
terrifying.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
It is so
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, so good.
What was her name? Like
Lola Bromeo.
Joanne or
Yeah, it's
something.
like, yeah, it's just something. Yeah, Deborah.
This demon named Joanne.
It's just like a social worker or
I'll
something.
tell you what, I'm here to fuck up this town.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, speaking of blood and guts,
Yeah.
you have had quite the journey.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated because obviously I don't have a vagina. Well, not obviously I don't have a vagina, but I am still kind of shocked at the level of misinformation and the lack of like direct route to the truth in terms of the realities of the female orgasm.
It's crazy.
Still.
Yeah. So I started my podcast, for those who don't know. How Come is about I couldn't come. And I was 28 and I was talking to Charlotte one day and we were just discussing orgasms and shit. And she was just like, oh yeah, I've never done it with a guy. And I was like, but does this mean that you've done it alone? And she was like, oh yeah. And I was like, but that's crazy. You're crazy. Like, I haven't. And like, I taught you about everything.
Yeah, like she was the one who told me to get a vibrator, and I thought I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I was like, I told you about journaling. I told you about everything you've ever done. I told you about Axl Rose. You wouldn't have had that sexual awakening at 9. But yeah, so she said it, and I was just like, okay, that's fucked up, because I had this like weird misinformation or weird notion from TV and comedy that I had watched that like either women don't come or they're like this select group of like whores, quote unquote, who like it's super easy for, like the Samantha Jones of the world. And then everything else was like, oh well, my wife doesn't come and women don't come and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's like a thing that we just don't do, and we have sex for guys. Like, I genuinely thought, but even though I was a sexual person, like my mom always says, I was like crossing my legs in my stroller at like 2 years old and like making sexy eyes at people. Like, I would like say hi and like a really like a drag voice. I'd be like, hi. No, like, actually, this is what, ask my mother.
Smoking cigarettes.
Hi. Yeah. I had just started stand up like I think 2 years before, I guess. Yeah, because I've been doing it only like 3 years now. And I'd been seeing a lot of female comics talking about their orgasms and like, oh, it was so easy, or I waited for him to leave before I did it. And then it like totally changed my perspective. And I would ask these girls after shows, I'd be like, okay, wait, what should I do? Like, one of my friends, Esther Steinberg, shout out, was like, you just need to get some lube and just keep rubbing for like 30 minutes. And I was like, all right. And I like kind of tried once, and then I was like, no. And then I told Charlotte about it, and she was like, you're a lazy masturbator. Like, you need to be like held accountable. And I was just like, nah. And I'd wanted to start a podcast because like I just wanted more stand-up shows and like podcasts get fans and people show up and shit. And so I was like, you know what, that might be a good thing. And I'd be held accountable every week. So every week I'd have somebody who was like way more well-versed in sex on, and they'd tell me about their first time coming, and then they'd give me an assignment. And then after like week 6, I'd done it. Yeah. And so then we were like, well, clearly I wasn't broken. Like, it wasn't impossible. It was just, there wasn't, as you said, the information there, like, to access. Now there's like kind of this website, OMG Yes, that like Emma Watson talks about a lot, but you have to pay for it. You
have to pay for it?
Yeah, you have to pay for like a monthly subscription. Yeah, but it like shows you how to masturbate and stuff. Like, but yeah, and then there's another one called O School, School. We had them on, and it's basically like sex ed and stuff that like you're not getting in school. Like, sex ed is just kind of like, this is how sexual intercourse works. Yeah. And I
don't even know if they went that far from like,
really?
I mean,
this is how not to have a baby.
Yeah.
Not like how to have good sex.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It wasn't ever like even like our parents though, I don't think they were like, yeah, sex is supposed to be fun, but nobody ever was like, and you're supposed to have this thing where it feels like you pissed, right? And you might feel weird, and like it's okay because the other person's going to be making an equally strange face and emitting another fluid, and like it's cool.
Yeah, and noises and things.
Yeah, and it was also strange to me because like when the podcast came out, so many girls were like, oh my God, me too. Like that were close to me, that we were like friends, and they were like, yeah, I still haven't, like, even with like my current boyfriend, and like,
damn.
Yeah. And then other people, like when I figured it out with this specific sex toy, they were like, oh yeah, I've had that one. And I'm like, well, why didn't you fucking tell me?
Right, because it's so taboo even to talk, even with your closest friends, about these intimate
guys
things.
Are talking about it like if you think about any conversation after a guy has gone to sleepaway camp, like for the first time when they're like 10, it's like, did you all stand around in a circle and jizz on a cracker? Yes, you did.
It's weird though for girls because it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're talking about sex, it's ick, like it's bad or something.
Shouldn't be though.
But then if you're not having orgasms, it's also, you feel weird.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like there wasn't any real safe.
Yeah, I thought
space.
I was being like top-notch gal, like, oh, look at me, I'm a philanthropist. I'll just have sex with you, and
You're welcome.
So you mean you're donating?
donating my
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah. For the greater good of others.
Yeah.
Without any interest for yourself. It's admirable.
Now,
admirable.
prior to like, so before before this whole experience, like in your sexual dalliances, what were the attitudes of the men that you're sleeping with? Are they like? They're like, after it's all done, like, hey baby, did you come?
No,
or like,
that's the thing, is a lot of people like wouldn't even ask for a really long time, and I really didn't realize it was a thing. But I had one ex who I was with for like over 2 years, and I only told him at the 2-year mark. I said, I think I'm not having orgasms.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Like I've kind of tuned into other people right now. I've heard enough that like it seems like people, but like it's not happening, I think, for me.
Yeah.
But still embarrassed to talk about it directly with anybody.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
he was like, okay, well, that's something we have to work on. And the thing that I knew about, like, I wasn't going online because I was like scared of like spam. But I did watch Sex in the City, and like they had the rabbit. That was like the guaranteed thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had bought that at like a birthday party. One of my friends at BU had like a sex toy party for his 21st birthday, and I bought a rabbit and like some lube, and so like we tried that. But like it's weird to like have a guy with a dick touch you with something with another dick, like especially when you're like feeling inexperienced and like feeling like something for the first time. Like it was strange. And also I didn't train enough privately.
Okay, yeah, you gotta do your research.
You gotta train. It's so hard. Like everybody, when my podcast came out, were like, how does your boyfriend feel about it? And I'm like, I don't know, positive. Like it's my thing. Like they're like, does it mean he's bad at sex? And I'm like, no, like I've been alive for such a long time before I even knew him that like I clearly don't know my body. I don't know what to tell him.
Sure. Okay.
Like that's like handing somebody a Rubik's Cube and being like, this has never been solved. Enjoy.
Yeah. You have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting because it takes the onus off the guys in a lot of ways. Like the podcast people assume, oh, it's man hating, or it's it's the opposite.
Somebody commented on the Instagram recently. They were like, because I was like, season 2 is coming back, and they were like, another season of man hating, and I was like, what?
That's our show.
Yeah.
Love men. No, we love.
It's really like the opposite. It's more about, it's not lowering men, it's empowering women to like, you need to figure out your own body before you can expect anyone else to.
Yeah.
Right.
And Remy said on one episode, it's like a very pro little dick podcast.
Very pro little dick.
Because like in this whole thing, you learn there's so many other things besides a dick that can get a woman to come.
Also,
And no one's
only
talking about
8 to 25% of women can come
Just
only
from
vaginally.
insertion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else needs your tiny penis, I like to call it, your clitoris touched.
Yeah.
It's done something with, and that has nothing to do with a penis at all.
No.
It's crazy.
I
that
didn't
foreplay
think
is-
lesbians could have sex, and they're having more orgasms than anybody.
What did you think they did?
Yeah, what?
Just looked at the catalog.
No, I was just like, okay, they like mush their vaginas together. I've done that. Like, whatever.
You know, the
Get
same
over
thing.
it.
And I remember watching Ellen DeGeneres and Sharon Stone, and If These Walls Could Talk Too, where they had this like long protracted sex scene, and
I've never seen that.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's wacky. But I think all I remember, and I remembered it wrongly. I had this like image in my mind of them just like grinding their crotches together and like. I have queer girlfriends who are like, oh my god, it's just like splash mountain.
Yeah,
You know? It's like,
literally.
yeah.
No, I was like, oh, poor lesbians. They can't have sex and they have to wear fake dicks. And it's like, yeah, they wear fake dicks sometimes, but then they come way more than you do, you stupid idiot.
Yeah. The little dick thing too is like these giant cannons aren't necessarily like.
That's what I'm always wondering with guys though. Like all of my gay friends are like, oh yeah, it's such a great big dick. And I'm like, why do you want that?
That's the asshole.
That's uncomfortable though to me.
It's very unhealthy, like male, like toxic masculinity, you know, because realistically, ask any girl, would they prefer a giant body ruining dick or like a smaller dick? And they will say smaller every time.
Yeah.
Of course.
Every time.
Yeah. You don't have to do like 2 to 3 years of like preparation.
of
to get to that moment. But then but there's
creaming.
Yeah, but there's so many guys who are like they're super ambitious down there, and they just want to have all the furniture stuck up their ass, and then they get to that point where it's like the point of no return, where it's like, you know, a hot dog down the hallway kind of situation.
That's a separate thing.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Going to take a minute up from the show to talk to you about how you can build a professional website all by yourself. Very soon you will be seeing a whimsically volatile website, so keep your eyes peeled. And how are we going to make that website? Well, by using Wix. Over 140 million people use Wix for their website, and you can start and publish for free. You choose from over 500 stunning templates or start from scratch. You can change, customize, and add anything you want. That includes text, images, videos, you know, the stuff on a website. Getting your website seen is essential, and to do that, you can use Wix's SEO Whiz for a personalized plan that'll get your website found easier in search engines like Google. With Wix, everything is automatically optimized for any device, desktop or mobile. Get the tools you need to create the website you want. Unlimited storage, a custom domain, email addresses for your business, email marketing tools, and so on. Wix also allows you to manage and grow your business all in one place. You don't need to know how to do HTML or CSS, and it really is for anyone. Anyone can go to Wix and make their own website, and it's going to look great, just like ours is going to look when you see it. With Wix, you start with a blank slate and design your website in any layout you want. You can use unlimited fonts and design effects as well as HD video. Millions of businesses use Wix to create websites, instantly connect your customers, and manage all interactions in one place. And you don't have to be a business either. You can use Wix for your own personal needs. So get started now by going to Wix.com. That's Wix.com/podcast to get 10% off. That's Wix.com/podcast. Send us your sites and let us see what you're up to.
Have you ever encountered a micro penis?
I have not. Actually, somebody wrote today or yesterday to How Come. They were like, can you do an episode on micro penises? And I was like, okay. We all have different bodies and we all have things that get us off, and like we all have foods that we're allergic to, and everybody's different, and it's great.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many people would benefit from a micro penis episode, and I wouldn't want it to be something that's kind of like salacious, like, ooh, this is Devin, he lives with a micro penis.
Like, how much is there to say about it? Is it not just like a tiny clit, basically?
Yeah.
It's
like a womanizer, the
thing,
the clitoral suction thing that I use could probably work real well on a micro penis.
Yeah.
Episode finished, fam.
And we're done.
Well, a mini episode.
But for that one fan.
Yeah.
I love how you guys point at each other. You're so in sync as like producers.
I had to jerk off. I'm like, well, I didn't have to. I chose to jerk off.
You were put through so much misery.
And it was, I was just so fascinated.
Wait, can you show me when you say micro, how micro?
Okay, yeah. So like, because I remember like it didn't clear my fist.
Oh, right.
Right. I'm thinking it's even like this big.
Well, so it was like
like my pinky finger?
I think like that big.
So you're talking, Brian's...
So from the knuckle, so my index finger from the knuckle to the nail.
And what were you forced to do? Watch it?
Jerk it off.
Jerk it off.
But I didn't want to do the two, like the thumb and the index finger kind of like...
Yeah, because that's rude.
Oh, yeah. It's like thimble treatment. And I was like...
It's literally the position for your hand being like small.
Tiny. Yeah. But it started kind of like... It was just very awkward.
And this was you were forced to during your coursework at BU?
Yes. This is part of my dissertation. And
Professor. No.
But he was like, it was so strange. I remember the look on his face. It was so intense. Like he was waiting for me
he was like, how are you going to handle it?
Kind of.
It must be very stressful for them. Like that, I can imagine talking about not the mechanics of a micro penis, but rather like, oh my gosh, being naked is already very... It's like so personal and scary. Yeah. And if they feel like they have this, I was going to say massive thing to hide, but
a big secret.
It's a small
little baby secret.
It's just, that must be so stressful all the time. You know, how is someone going to react to it? Are they going to be comfortable? Are they going to make fun of me? You're on this border of, I don't want to tell them, but I want them to be prepared.
Yeah.
And,
same thing with like herpes.
Right.
100%.
STIs completely.
Yeah, it's like disclosure. It's like, do I ruin the chances of me hooking up with this person by telling them I have a 1-inch dong?
Yeah.
Or do
what
I just
did he do with
bite
you?
the bullet? Well, I would just jerk him off for a ride home.
Oh, okay. So it was a transactional thing.
Yeah, it was transactional.
Oh, okay.
It was transactional.
It's really, was it right after going out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get cabs in Boston.
Oh,
Like,
it was like I could spend $30.
No, literally,
like wait in the cold for 20 minutes.
In the
Forget
street after a club night once, and because there was no cabs.
Yeah.
Like once everything closes at 2, and then everybody floods into the streets, and none of the cars or whatever. I jumped in front of this guy's car, and I was like, "Take us home!" And he took me and my friends home, and the whole time I'm sitting in the front, I'm like, "Please don't kill and rape us." And he was like, "You stopped me. Like I don't want to be doing this."
I would let you out right now if I could.
Like, you guys are really annoying.
Yeah, it was always like this little this grifty scam towards the end of the night to like, can I flirt just enough to get a ride home, but not much else.
But then be like, oh, my RA wouldn't allow.
Yeah.
Did he tell you about it though?
Oh, he sure no.
Before?
Oh no.
Were you shocked?
He did. I was shocked.
Well, I feel like the face he was looking at was kind of like, how are you gonna?
What's the? Yeah, he was like,
what are you gonna do?
Where are we gonna go from here? Like, because I almost thought it was
kind of like a threat too,
or
like,
a challenge.
Yeah,
right? I was like,
what are you gonna do, bitch?
Yeah. How are you gonna make this work? I know of like some people who have like really tiny penises and they love to be humiliated about,
Oh, right. That's like a whole
really
thing
gets them
on the porn thread. Like the small penis, SPH, small penis humiliation.
Yeah. Yeah, and but I almost like I felt like in his eyes he was like daring me to say something about how small it was, but I could have just been projecting. Yeah,
maybe.
Well, maybe he's also used to that.
Yeah, like,
it's like, okay, fine, what's going to happen now? Yeah.
But it was like, because I was like, it was crazy. It was like fully erect.
You'd have to get so close to it to like suck on it too. Like your face would be like up against.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know, because it would feel like just like putting a button in your mouth.
That's
I don't know what. Like I just want to like flick it.
So low impact is what you're saying.
Yeah. It was just so
thin or girthy.
It was girthy. So there was like a emergency button.
Yeah.
It was
like a Staples. That was easy.
Yeah.
It was indeed.
My heart went out to him.
And how long did it take for him to?
He did not climax.
He did not.
No.
Wow. So how long was the whole process before the ride home? When was the give up point? When did he say, okay?
So we got in the car, and then that's when he did this like kind of a song and dance thing where he's like, yeah, I'm going to show you my dick. It was like, and then I was like,
Yin Yang twins. I'll show you my dick. All okay.
It was like, okay. And then we started to drive, and then like 10 minutes into the drive, I had to put the kibosh on it because it was just too dangerous.
Yeah.
Too dangerous to jerk him off and drive
and keep driving.
Yeah. So can we talk about squirting?
Yeah.
Okay.
We talk about it all the time.
Okay.
We're still not clear.
I don't think anyone
No
is.
one's clear. And I think the ultimate point is, who fucking cares? If it feels good, do it and deal the fuck with it. Because everyone's like, is it pee? Like, studies have shown that, it's a little bit diluted pee. But we've both conducted studies ourselves where we'll pee and then we'll masturbate and you're
and you're like, I don't have to pee. What else could
there's nothing. And then it fills right back up again, and then happens. So
there is a study on that's really interesting, and they have women pee, or they'll test their urine before they pee, see how much of this enzyme is in it.
Okay.
And there will be a very high quantity. They'll pee it out, then they'll test the squirt. Basically, your body is empty of pee. It's crazy. Like your bladder just emptied. Then they have sex or masturbate, whatever, it fills back up, and that one that's tested just has a lower level
and
of
then
that
they keep
enzyme,
doing
basically.
it.
Fills back up the bladder.
Like with a fluid. But it's a different fluid. But I think if you were to test a guy's jizz,
do you know
also levels of that same enzyme of pee?
But so the thing I guess I'm confused on is, so the squirt fluid is coming out of the urethra.
Same
spots. But isn't the lubrication of
different
a vagina
totally different
is
part.
different, right? Because the vagina the vagina cavity is becoming lubricated through
like a
mucous
snail.
membranes. Right.
That's more like the female ejaculate.
Yeah.
So
but the thing I think about, like that over my studies is I think that female ejaculate, like I always used to think, the girls don't need to have like orgasms because like we don't like need them to give birth or whatever. but we might need to have squirt because it automatically kind of like cleans you. Like girls are told to pee after you have sex every time to prevent UTIs.
Yeah.
And if that same fluid is like coming out like so much and like sterilizing the area kind of, I don't know, like we've not like looked into it at all, but I think like that definitely makes it seem more.
Female cum isn't the same as squirting.
No.
They're different. And
right, because that's it coming from that. Where does that
like even like in a girl's underwear like during the day they'll
that's
have discharge.
like discharge.
Yeah, but that's where it comes from.
But that's
like
vaginal.
That's vaginal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's
and
not coming
right. No,
out
it's
of the
different
urethra.
from squirting.
Yeah. Oh wait,
That's
do
what I'm
you
saying.
sometimes create like more like white, or do people create more of that? Like I've never noticed that during sex, like the white stuff that ends up in your like I've never noticed discharge coming out after sex. I think it's usually
how would
just
you see it? Like you would look at like Ben's penis
yeah.
and see if it's on there.
Yeah.
Well, in your studies in the lab, you have very specific
in my studies in the
equipment.
lab,
Yeah.
I mean, like I've done
When
it
I've
with a
been to
yeast
the
infection
lab.
before, and then I look at the subject and I say, there's different contents on the object. No.
And then you click the pen that you had in the pocket of your lab
And
coat,
then write it down.
Write it on your clipboard.
Yeah.
In my studies, no, I've actually had guys tell me that they get turned on by seeing a girl's cum, like the actual cum itself, like on their dick. Like it's different. It's more like jizz than.
Interesting.
It's more of like a viscous lubricating. Yeah.
Lubriderm.
My friend, my childhood like best friend had a girlfriend in high school, and she would soak the mattress.
Yeah.
Just like
But
not
that's
squirting.
Oh,
no,
really?
not squirting. No.
But that
just
is
from getting
wet.
Yeah.
Just from getting wet. Like just like
interesting.
That's the thing. It's become so difficult too, because people are like, well, like describe how coming feels. I'm like, it's literally different for everyone, and also with women, there's so many different ways to do it.
100%. Every
Yeah.
orgasm like can feel different from
Yeah.
the next one.
Sure.
and you can have waves.
Yeah.
And then right. Sure. It's
Like you don't squirt every time just because you can.
No, a lot of
At
the time
all.
I hold back. I'm like, I don't want to do fucking laundry. That's
Right. No, thank you.
that's not who I be.
So you went from not ever having an orgasm to now squirting.
Yeah. Well, the first time I did. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the womanizer, like, it wasn't even an assignment that was given to me. I had just been like on a podcast circuit kind of talking about like, this is my new podcast, and everyone's like, Remy doesn't come, this is crazy. And my friend Will was like, actually Rachel Sennett, who's another comic, he's like, she had this issue and then she got a womanizer, and like you should do that too. So then before I recorded episode 5, I tried it for like 2 seconds and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the thing. I was like, I have to get at least one more episode in. Like I can't.
It cannot happen this fast.
Yeah. Whoop.
That's a true professional, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything for the pod.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then when I finally like did devote the time right after that episode was recorded, it was like,
You were like, get
it was
out,
in
please.
a
I have a
minute.
thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. And like, I like went to the bathroom and I had to like look at myself in the mirror because I was like nervous. Like I had already kind of mini squirted and I was like, I can't keep doing this. And so I walked over and I like looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you're not gonna stop. I was like, you're gonna
Hear me like you're lazy
I was like,
masturbator.
you're gonna do it. I was like, this is gonna be great. And then I did, and I was like, this is crazy. And then I cried so hard because I was
Wow.
like, what does this mean? like I was like, do I end the podcast? And like, I was, yeah.
I've
But
done something bad, which is
Yeah.
what you want to feel after an orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I web journal, or I video journaled as I do. They're not for the public, but I was like, I can't believe.
Damn.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel afterwards? Like
Crazy.
and how you were 28?
Yes.
28.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's
It's so much time without
Wow.
like being relieved ever.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I've been so anxious.
So angry. Such an angry person. She's a whole new person.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You know what? It's funny that I have quite a bit of female friends, and I've noticed that a lot of times there's not a lot of talk about jerking off.
Mm-hmm.
About masturbating?
Yeah.
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 And also I even say, because of masturbate. We don't have that many like fun words for calling it. Like
I love when girls say jerk off. Like jerking
I
off.
do.
Oh,
I
it's
like
funny.
it too. I just think like even it just registered in my brain. I'm like, oh, like
Only guys can
jerking off. Like,
Yeah.
ha,
Sure.
ha, very
Like-
funny. Like
Yeah.
we could do that too. But yeah, girls should be way more open about. What's weird is I was in a video for Refinery 29 like 4 years ago because they wanted comedians to be talking about like how they masturbate and what they call it and like open up that conversation. I was like, oh yeah, I'm down to talk about that because I was masturbating all the time. I just hadn't come.
Yeah.
But I'm talking on this video as if like you should listen to what the fuck I'm saying. And it's crazy to watch now. I'm like, yeah, I just call it like diddling. It's like, well, you don't even come, you idiot.
You can't call this anything.
Yeah.
Driving around in circles. Oh my God.
Well, rubbing one out could be.
Oh,
Rubbing
Yes,
one
rubbing
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the girls said clitting, which is like,
Clitting.
yeah, but that actually is huge because I really didn't believe that the clit had so much involvement.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was like this weird little bean that like you avoid at all costs. And yeah.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. But oh, you know what? I think guys at school would just always be like, oh, like you finger blast yourself probably. Fingering was a thing and it still is a thing and it can be great, but for the most part, like no one's getting off via fingering.
Yeah.
Unless it's like intertwined
with clitoral stuff. No, but like just blasting a vagina.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I would go home and do sometimes. I'd be like, okay, I guess I'll just like go digging in my fucking vagina.
I've always, I mean, obviously I don't know what that feels like, but I was always perplexed by that. I was seeing a porno with a guy just like jamming like 2 or 3 fingers up a girl's twat. I'm
It
like,
can be nice, but ultimately like that's not going to be the only thing. And like imagine like being like a young teen like finger blasting yourself like viciously, like just being like, I don't know what's happening, like how much longer do I have to do this?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it would have been nice if there was like more of a forum to be like I don't know, guys seemed to be able to talk to each other about it. For girls it was like, ugh, you
Well, the guys have
masturbate?
less to talk about too. It's basically like
It's a
unless
very
someone's a
basic
real
motion.
mangler.
One guy's like, and I like to have my balls cupped.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if a lot of guys get that into that part of that discussion, but also, yeah, like unless you're horribly arrhythmic,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to probably come.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Which
guys.
someone I remember once was jerking me off, and they were so bad. I was like, I can't believe that you can't figure out, like, there's no rhythm to you at all. Like, I'm going to have
Like,
to take things.
rhythm is gonna get you.
Yeah, right. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Yeah.
When I first had an orgasm, I was high on weed, and I didn't know how to jerk. I didn't know what I didn't know what to do. Nobody told me. Thank you so much. And I was humping my pillow, high on weed.
Yeah.
Very high.
Yeah.
And the
Delicate age.
the night before, the eve of 7th grade.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was humping my pillow in earnest.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then I felt the undeniable sensation of imminent urination. And I was confused.
Yes.
But
sure.
also excited.
A mixture of feelings.
And then I peed, but it wasn't pee.
It wasn't pee.
No. It was ejaculate.
It was.
From my penis.
And what happened to that pillow?
It got burned in a fire. No. Yeah, but it was, and I was like, it was so confusing and strange. It was like, this is, and then I learned about jerking off, and then I was like, oh, that's so easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you think when guys have conversations, gay or straight, well,
I think
it's different.
It's
with-
really
Yeah.
It's different.
And
What
when
about-
you're
okay.
that young, it's like, I mean, like I couldn't have a frank conversation about anything
Totally.
gay.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, are you gay?
No. But I'm
No,
just like,
God.
hypothetically.
So we had to clear that up for anyone listening. We don't want his reputation
Christ,
besmirched. I mean, we've had trouble
I
with
thought
that
we
before.
were floating.
You two have an undeniable chemistry, I
Yeah.
gotta say. Yeah.
But there is my brother and his most of the bullshit I learned was from my older brother and his like riffraff friends. And this, I remember this big fatty, and he told me about sticking a finger at my butt, but he was baiting me with gay shit.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But-
Was he trying to see if you were for
Yeah, I think he was
basically
trying to see
interaction with-
You're like, you just gave me a really nice tip.
Yeah, no, right. But then I
you.
learned
Yeah.
later it was real. Like, so
Yeah.
he was like,
Right.
he was trying to, cover his tracks. It's like, I wasn't serious about that gay shit, but then, he
Yeah, it
absolutely
turns
was.
out, yeah.
But yeah, but that doesn't happen. I mean,
Wait,
nowadays
did
probably
he turn
does.
out to be gay?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought maybe he was like seeking out like.
Well, no, I mean, he knew that it's like, it feels good to have something up your butt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which also, that's not discussed much amongst guys.
Never.
At all.
Or girls at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's been on the menu. In 2018, it was definitely like.
Absolutely. Butt stuff became a big hit in 2018.
Yeah. Well, thank God for that, everyone, right? Round of applause for butt stuff.
Yeah, true. But like,
I got made fun of this year for not eating ass.
Wait,
really?
You doing it or not having done too?
You got made fun of for not eating ass?
Yeah, like people, like I said it on stage once that I was like, yeah, I've never eaten ass. And they're like, what?
Well, neither have I, but.
Yeah, but like people were like, that's crazy. Like, you're crazy.
Sorry, but that to me depends on a lot of very important details.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's talking about a straight dude. Like the edibility of the average straight man's ass is highly suspicious.
Highly. They don't even know how to wipe their butts properly. Have you ever seen their underwear? It's disgusting.
There's so much hair in their butts. Like even the slipperiest of boys, like slidey smooth, no hair boy has like the hairiest asshole.
Yeah, and then you like bend him over and the cheeks are all smooth and then there's like this fucking thicket of like, I'm just like
Don King, hey.
And you could just do two or three little swipes of a razor.
Yeah.
It's
just
not that difficult to keep it all tidy down there.
There's nothing better than having your butt like nice and fresh.
Oh yeah.
Like that first day. Second day, not fun. Stubble. But it's an empowering, hygienic experience. Yeah. It's a revelation.
With straight guys too, I don't know how often when they're talking about sex, how was it? Was she hot? Whatever.
Yeah.
When do they ever say, did she come? How? Like, I don't think they do that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably like presents such a threat to their virility or their
Totally.
To even bring, I think, up the question.
Yeah, like how dare you? Like, of course she came.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah,
as soon as I called her, she started coming. Yeah.
What, you ever have a problem with that? What, you,
fag?
You or something?
But again, it's not even about like, did he should ask, hey, is there specific stuff you like that has been known to get you there? Yeah. But otherwise, like, it's really not a poor reflection on you.
No. But guys to guys are not asking. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's even part of the conversation.
It's like seen as manly to care.
Yeah, right. It's like a moot point.
It's like, well, why would you? Sad. Like one of the first memes I posted, and I took it down since, but it was like, I don't remember. I'm going to ruin it. But Leonardo DiCaprio was in it.
So you put a meme up and you don't remember anything about it.
I don't remember. No, but I remember that it was basically like, what do something and the female orgasm have in common? And it's like, we don't care if she has one or not. It's like a myth that guys care, but a lot of people do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of it is part of the sexual experience too. It's like a turn on to see someone turned on.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's a drag if the other person doesn't, because then it's like, well, we're not equally enjoying this as much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that?
I had my friend Molly on, and she had a one-woman show called Molly Brenner Is Not Coming, and then she had to rewrite it because she came. And
it's a shame.
It's a shame. But she really articulated it well. There's like a scene in it where she goes to a restaurant with a guy, and she orders, and he orders, and he gets his food, and she's watching. She's like, that looks good. And then he goes, well, I've eaten. Let's go.
It is the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you both came to eat. Why? Like, she just has to sit there and watch you eat? That's fucking crazy.
Right.
And then be sore after, potentially.
And what is the situation with women in lube?
Lube is great.
And it's a common thing,
I think it should be a more common thing. Like, obviously, like, vaginas pump out a natural lubricant, but especially in masturbating, like, I think lube should always be on hand, because the second you dry up as a girl, like, there's nothing unsexier to touch than like a fucking dry giny.
Or like painful to feel.
Yeah, or painful to feel. Yeah, it just gets things started.
I do think regularly it's not used enough, probably.
It should be, though. It's nice.
Don't you think there's also this kind of hang up that people have, or women have, that's like, oh, well, I should be
able to do it on my own.
Right.
So, so
for
like,
sure.
let's ignore this instead of just using some lube.
Yeah.
Or that you're going to offend the guy.
Well, right, exactly. Yeah.
I would say don't even think of it as like a something that you need. It's like a fun thing.
Yeah, a little accessory.
It's a little accessory, and also like you can do way more with lube than like lube up your box. You can also get a massage. You can put it on your tits. It's nice. Like it's fun.
Same with sex toys. I was dating someone for years, and I think I was very in my head about it, like making sure he had a good time and not even thinking, again, like Remy, like that it was an option for me to come with a person. And when I had come with like this vibrator, same thing, the rabbit, I was like, there's no way I'm bringing that in to sex with this partner, because I thought it would scare the shit out of him, which he would see it and be like, whoa, because it's a very sizable dick, I guess. Like,
yeah, and it does things that the dick doesn't do, like vibrate, and you worried that maybe they'd feel it was a threat to their
Mine's
exactly.
filled with pearls.
Yeah, I think some guys, especially when you're really young, like we were young, but like I think they do feel threatened, like they're not doing enough, and that shouldn't be the case, whether it's toys or lube.
No, it should be
fun
like
addition.
Oh, this just made your job so much. My favorite thing to do is like have the toy, and I can do whatever I want with it, and I have control of it. But then have another person making out with me and like touching other parts.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
So fun.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to like people get fucking carpal tunnel from masturbating women. Like don't think of it as like, oh, it's me versus a machine. It's like we're all a family now.
Yeah. And you're way more likely to come at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it takes girls longer. So if you have a little help, you can do it at once.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it doesn't seem like you see a lot of like sex scenes in movies. But like, remember those like in the 90s, those like romantic thrillers and like those like the Cinemax movies, but also like there was just like a a movie with Bruce Willis or Sylvester Stallone where there'd be these long love scenes.
The camera would just pass over their bodies.
And then like,
and the woman's always like, and the guy's just sort of doing whatever.
And then they both erupt
good.
into like the orgasmic ecstasy, and I'm like, oh, okay, just like this really tidy, neat.
Clean.
Yeah. And then I was like,
I am Arnold Schwarzenegger. Take off your bra while we're next to this bed. I don't know that you're my wife.
What are the percentages of synchronicity in male and female orgasm?
Like,
zero?
Not zero, but like
negative.
The thing is that you have to have worked on the woman more oftentimes for longer before like they sync up.
Yeah.
Or for like there are unicorn women that like it's very easy for them to do it vaginally. And some people think if they have an experience with one of those women that like that's going to be it all the time,
because they're
like,
magic
I've got
penis.
this magic penis. Dan Savage talks about the magic penis all the time. And it's like, I think
we're actually sponsored this week by the Magic Penis.
magicpenis.com.
You can get it on Amazon.
15% off with our promo code.
Magpeen. But like if the woman after isn't honest and isn't like, actually, I'm not coming, then that's when it becomes dangerous that the guy is like, oh, like I thought that this is great.
Yeah. 20 years later.
Yeah.
And he might shame her too if nobody else has said, actually, I didn't, and they're just like making the I'm having fun noises, and he assumes that she came.
It's like, what's wrong with
then
you?
Everyone else had a good time.
Yeah.
Well, also, there's that thing, too, I think, of if the people have been together a certain amount of time, and then they only find out, like, 8 months in that the person has it. I'm sure also that, like, a guy could...
My
take
ex
that
felt
guilt
so betrayed.
And and then not knowing what to do. Well, also not knowing what to do with the guilt plus that and everything, and then people can get extra hung up, which is great for sex.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best when you're just thinking
in your head,
this is going to be a failure again.
Yeah.
I faked orgasms.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay. When you say faked, do you say I came and you didn't, or just you're very like? You're
just
performative.
To get out of it?
Yeah. To just, and it's a little harder. And I remember I remember feeling like...
a lot of theatrics. But that's where drag comes in handy.
Exactly.
Well, it's a funny thing is sometimes I was in drag.
Amazing.
But it's like, I remember feeling, I was like, God... This is much trickier to do as a guy, but you just want to get it over. I can't believe I'm doing this, but it was just like there's no end in sight. I just got to wrap this up.
How do you do it as a guy? Because can he see if you came or not?
If you're wearing a condom, there's a condom, then you
throw it at the wall.
I mean, this is gross, but like I have done it where I've just go through the motions of like having ejaculated into
Tighten
somebody.
Your butt.
like, you know, and I'm like, and then I mean, I can't imagine that they're like going to go in the bathroom and just like inspect.
Yeah. Hey, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Know.
There's no cum in my ass. You know
what the hell was he doing back there?
He's really dehydrated.
Yeah, but I felt so bad. I was like, this is so childish and dumb.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
You feel like you don't want to insult them either way sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
But damned if you do, damned if
but
you
also,
don't.
it's like you can't just like the thing is, I started to think like, well, why is it always just like a race to the finish? It's like now I don't feel any type of way about just organically drawing things to a close. You know, it's like, oh, it's not like a failure that like, okay, now I'm bad at sex or this sucks or we are incompatible, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, now we're fooling around or having, and now we're not doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get better, all of us, at drawing things to a close without faking it.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the solution is. Because,
I've
there
done
have been
it.
times.
I've just been like, yeah, this isn't going to happen. Like, are you good? I'm pretty good right now. And then they're like, yes or no. And it's like, okay, you want to make out for a little bit longer? Yeah, sure. Whatever. You know, like, do you want to go to sleep and watch something? Well, I'll smoke a little weed. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because also sometimes even with like a couple that has really good sex, usually you can have a bad night or you're a little drunk or whatever.
Yeah,
and
Shit
things are
dries
numb.
up.
Yeah,
you
so
can be
things just
as
happen.
turned on as you like, but then like your body's just like, not tonight.
Yeah, and like one, not failure, but one inconclusive evening doesn't mean like, oh no, it's bad now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it does.
Well,
I think
we were trying to give people hope, and I know that you just want to be a brutal realist in this new year.
He's a gold star sexpert.
Yeah.
Never any complaints.
I was born in the game. Yeah. Oh God, I can't. I feel so ashamed for having faked. Oh God, it's like, it's so unnecessary. But it's not like I was getting like points or like a reward. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like cheating on a test.
Right, but then again, that's the whole thing that you get hung up on, that you have to achieve a certain goal.
Yeah,
no matter
I blame
what.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then
the
collapse
system,
and like wipe
Yeah.
my brow and then
Exhausted.
pull the sheets up to my nipples and
Yeah,
just
and hear this.
Was it so bad because you were in pain or it was boring?
it was just like, it wasn't painful. It was just like, oh, I'm not.
It's just not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen, or like,
And I want to get out of here.
well, that too. Like sometimes I'm like, I've made hasty hookup decisions and like didn't vet properly, and then I'm like halfway through the hookup, I'm like, oh, you're ugly.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
That's the thing too. I've noticed with guys, gay and straight. Like, remember our episode with Christian and John? Like, it's two older men, and like they're both in their 50s, and they were talking about how they always felt more pressure to hook up with girls, like if they met on not an app, but if they met on AOL or something, or they met and it was like a scheduled hookup, if they got there and they didn't want to hook up, they felt really unmanly, and they're like, well, I have to as a guy.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I agreed to this. Guys, take that fucking pressure off you shouldn't just like force yourself into sex with anyone ever.
Yeah.
No shit.
Like, that's but like people
not
do it all the
time.
time.
No,
No.
yeah.
Like, I literally was at this guy's house once, and he was like, yeah, I want to have sex, and I was just like, just fucking do it so then you can leave. You know? And then like I was more like mad at myself. I'm like, why did you fucking force yourself? You self-raped.
Yeah. It's grisly.
It could even be someone you do like. And you're just not into it.
And then
Sure.
but that's the thing, is I did like him, and then because I had that experience, I'm like, I don't want to go back there.
Yeah. That creates a whole nother layer of...
Yeah.
5 or 6 episodes into the podcast, you came.
Yeah.
And then for the second, now you're on to the second season?
Now
Second
she's
season
doing a new
is
show
starting.
she's doing a new show called How Poop. I don't know
Yes.
about that. Yeah.
It's about the other side of things. Yeah, no, season 2 starts in it's now January,
the
so like
13th.
it comes out the 13th. Yeah, it comes out. Oh God, I hate myself. But yeah, no, I'm really excited, and now it's basically, as I said, like more about like what happened in our puritanical culture to like fuck us up so hard and like make the pleasure gap so wide, and like how do we, at what point do we talk to kids and all this, like weird stuff that you don't realize you have to unlearn.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like my parents are fantastic, amazing, wonderful, liberal, whatever, evolved, not one thing I mean, we didn't talk
Believe
at all.
in evolution?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh no.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Creationist through and through.
I only say that-
You come in here and attack him like that.
No, no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
like so rude.
The only thing I say that because the guy that I was dating when I said, actually I've never had an orgasm, he told me like within that same week that he never believed in evolution.
Oh,
I know.
Wow.
Goodbye.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
And you heard wedding bells.
We're both so upset.
Damn.
So not good.
Well, it makes you think, though. I mean, God did design everything so wonderfully.
Yeah, and made it harder for women to come, which is, as it should be.
Yeah.
But
Right?
the thing
That's what we're
is
learning
once
here.
you get there, there's so many more to unlock.
Oh,
That's
right.
the thing. I'm not sure it is harder. I think society made it
It harder. I think guys
Yeah.
were like, this is fucked up. She just keeps coming.
Yeah.
And my house is wet.
Like Dan Savage, he says, or he quotes someone saying that women are the insatiable sex
Yeah.
because we can keep coming and have multiple orgasms.
And the more you do it, the easier it is.
Right.
And about science too. We
what?
only knew. I was just thinking about science.
More devil words, Brian. Yeah.
Yeah. We only discovered, not Charlotte and I, but the medical community
in our studies
discovered that the structure of the clitoris is like so fucking large.
Oh my god, it's so crazy.
What's it-
I had
it's
no
like-
idea.
In
like a dick.
1998 is when they discovered like internally how big it actually is. Like you think it's only like this little thing. It goes back like 4 inches and it goes around the vagina. So any vaginal orgasm really technically is a clitoral orgasm.
Like the G spot is really just an extension.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. It's wild.
Damn.
Titanic discovery.
Yeah.
Titanic.
The Titanic.
Oh, did you see Titanic?
But they're like in terms of the human gonad, like the clitoris and the penis are similar in their
They come from the same-
from the same
Yeah.
embryonic tissue.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before differentiation, they're like the same
Exactly.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. And what you were saying about like practice, basically, like guys start jerking off very
3,
young
4
and
years
keep
old.
doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Usually, someone it tells you don't do that. And
No,
for girls, it's don't
no.
do that ever, and for guys, it's don't do that in public. And so guys keep
Yeah.
doing it, and they learn how to come.
Yeah.
So your body's really like primed for it your whole life, and for a lot of girls, I know people who still have never masturbated in college.
Wow.
And so of course they're not going to be having as good of sex
Sure.
or the same types of sex. So we really we're delayed.
We're delayed.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you have this whole new world to discover.
I
like
know.
that's like old hat to like many people. They're like, nah, nothing to live for.
No, it's so nice. It changed my whole worldview. I always make a joke that I was in this like long stage of like adolescence. I was like, I'm never growing up. I smoke weed every day. And then I came and I was like, I will pay my taxes this year. This is the year that she grows.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I've really enjoyed.
Really? You've enjoyed coming?
I've
Wow.
really enjoyed it.
Okay,
And what's
that's-
crazy is other women have followed the assignments and have
Yeah.
had their first orgasms and like
What was the most helpful assignment? Was it the womanizer thing you mentioned?
But I did this thing. I did a tantric massage and it was so great and it was so weird because like the guy touches your vagina obviously and I never thought that would be a thing I'd be okay with like in a professional capacity, but he did it in like this way that like it felt like it's just part of your body.
Sure.
It's not this
Yeah,
like
yeah.
separate entity
Right.
that you have to like be embarrassed about or be
Right.
anything. Like he's seen all of me and like it's great. And yeah, it was really cool and like it didn't happen in the session, but it was great.
Yeah.
Now, one of the assignments, didn't you go to a swingers party?
We went to a sex party.
Sex party, right.
I have been in a relationship over the course of all of season 1 and like I wasn't able to do anything, but I watched a
Sure.
lot.
Okay. Walk me through this because for like straight folks, I didn't even know that they had sex parties.
They do. Yeah. This one is called NSFW. It's like the Soho House of Sex.
Ah, yes.
So they have all these people that like apply and they have memberships and they've got different nights of things. And I had the members on the podcast and then they were like, we're having a comedy night and we'd like sex positive comics to perform on it. So I went as a comic and like performed, and like that's what they do at most of the events is there's some kind of entertainment that everybody can like afterwards like break off and like talk about. So it's kind of like this like very organic way to start meeting people. It's a party where sex happens. Like it's not like a sex party you walk in and there's people fucking on the stairs and like shitting on each other's chests and like because that's what happens at sex.
But you're out.
But it's like a very, and everybody wears black, so it's like you feel like you're on like the same team, and like it's like really sleek and like
a secret
exciting.
mission.
And
What's the age range?
Pretty millennial, but then it goes as old as like we met a guy who was like in his 50s. He was one of the producers of Gigolos. Pretty cool.
Wow.
And the show Polyamory. Pretty cool.
Cool.
But then him and I are literally talking about that, and there's people fucking in a jail cell next to us, and we were just kind of like like watching and stuff, and I'm like, it's fucking crazy, right? And he's like, yeah, it's wild.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. It's been really nice and eye-opening, and I just feel like a lot of those people too come from really professional backgrounds and really successful backgrounds and really different from everyone. And it's just like, it used to be like, oh, swingers parties and key parties and all like, and everything's like, that's a specific type of person. It's like, no, you can be like very type A and have your shit together and do yoga every morning and want to do fucking devil's threesomes every night.
Well, as we discussed with Cherry and Sophie, like, you know, being if you want to say pervert or very sex positive or very interested in sex, it's not, there's nothing bad about it. It doesn't infer something about your personality,
and it doesn't mean you're dishonest in your relationships. Like most of the, not most of them, but a lot of the people at NSFW parties who run it are polyamorous. Like they're all kind of dating each other. But the thing with that is that they're more honest than the regular person who's dating multiple people and kind of keeping them secret from each other until they're exclusive and have that conversation. It's just like well,
it's also the notion of like cheating or something. If people have arrangements where they have rules about things and they adhere to the rules that work for both parties, then there's no problem. No, exactly. That's not cheating. But then people who hide things from each other are being dishonest with each other, which is the problem.
And I've hated seeing, like, we grew up in New York City where people are like the kings and queens of like facade. Everything's fucking perfect. Everyone's so thin. There's no problems. Like families are gorgeous and they all get along and everyone's smart and going to Ivies and stuff. And I just had such an issue with like people lying because it gives other people this false idea of what reality can and should be and that you're failing and that, like, I don't know, we just try and be as honest as possible because it's like odds are somebody else is going through your same exact struggle and you're not a fucking weirdo. And like
definitely that's what I love about like the people who write in too, is so much of it obviously is about sex, and that's because it's something everyone does, is not talked about enough. And these people, a lot of have written in like, not only do I feel more confident, like less like insecure and a weirdo, my relationship has gotten better, all because, like you're saying, it's, you communicate more. It's way in the open.
And also revealing or being vulnerable or exposing yourself, if you will, that way, then the burden's lifted.
Totally.
And then you can actually like pursue or explore.
I didn't launch it. We recorded like the first 2 episodes, I think in August. And then I didn't launch it until December because I had a fucking break. I was like, no one's going to get me. Everyone thinks I'm a freak. Like I'm the only person on this like island. I had like outside of a grocery store. My boyfriend's like, I don't know really what to tell you.
I was like, there's facts. You're not the only one.
What did you have a concern that you would maybe then be branded as just this weird perv?
Because the first thing I say in the first episode is like, I've tried a lot of stuff. Like I love banging. It's great. So for that reason, I think I have a good reason to talk about this from like an educated. It's not like I just had sex and I'm not having an orgasm. What the fuck?
And here's the names of the guys that could give me that magic penis.
It's crazy how quickly people are like willing to brand you in the podcast either as prude at first or as slutty or something. Oh, it's a sex podcast.
Which I think shows a lot of people's own inability to process or approach stuff like that. So it's easier for them to be like, oh, that's that thing. But meanwhile, they're still, of course, curious about it.
But it's sick, like when like Charlotte's single and like if I'm...
That is sick.
Jesus
Christ.
That's
These degenerates that we have on the show are starting to rot our brains now, Brian.
But when she tells guys, oh yeah, I work on a podcast where we talk about the female orgasm, and she can immediately deduce what kind of person that
Totally.
is
Yeah.
because they're either like, oh wow, that's really interesting, and like, please tell me more, to like, wait, women have orgasms?
Will you guys talk about that stuff?
Yeah.
Is that usually when you're like, check, please?
Yeah.
Well, I was
She's like,
with,
and I fart too. Peace, motherfucker. Yeah.
Where'd you hear how poop?
it's lit. Like, I was at a party, and I was talking to 3 guys I've known for a while. I wouldn't call them my friends, but friendly. One of them is nonstop interrupting. Wait. You like fucking, like, she's never this is, and one guy just goes, dude, you need to stop. Do you want to listen or not?
Yeah.
And I was like, love you.
Yeah.
You gotta stop.
Yeah, right.
Go
You
shove
can
yourself
really-
in an oven.
Yeah. You get people's maturity level, how open they are to things.
Yeah.
You can read people so quickly based on how they're willing to approach something either they're not familiar with, uncomfortable with, or whatever it is. Like, it's such a good judge of character.
I wish I had the same energy to devote to every person who doesn't get it, because obviously, like, we've been talking about it for a year now. Like, I'm like, just listen to the fucking podcast. But
So what do you guys talk about?
What is it?
Impress me. Tell me everything that you say on the show, because I don't want to actually just sit down and do the laziest thing possible, put earphones in or earbuds, and then just listen to the show.
Yeah.
Stunt for me. Tell me.
But also, I think what would be really nice is just the girls that are listening to this show, tell everybody how you feel. Tell them, surprise them. Tell them that women like sex.
Yeah.
Who knew? Not me. Even though, like, I really do. I was like, this is abnormal.
Well, it is. That's what we.
It's
just
Brian
evil.
wants. Evil. Yeah, evil.
E-
Sinister and against the gods.
Nefarious.
Bad. Yes.
I think those people also can be extra annoying because we've seen so many incredible people, and like, you've interviewed so many people, and one of my favorites is the disability episode, and it's a guy and a girl, but the girl particularly,
2 guys, 1 girl.
No, I know, but ones who I was thinking of who said similar comments was that for her, she needs to depend on someone for about everything. Eating, drinking, getting places. She was like, masturbating, and I didn't do it for so long, was the one thing that I could make myself feel incredible and didn't need anybody else.
Yeah.
And she's like, and every aspect of my life is dependent on some other person except this. And it's the best feeling in the world. And it's like, wow, it's not just, fucking, you know, it's like, this can really change a person's life.
Yeah.
There's actually so much tied into sexuality that it's related to. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Sammy getting something at the door.
Oh, she lives.
Hey.
Oh,
she lives.
So Sammy's actually the one who turned me on to your show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
I'm a
turned
huge fan
on.
of it. Yeah, I'm turned on right now, actually. Yeah,
Squirted.
Yeah.
Craig squirted.
I was saving that for the end of the episode, but
Craig, is that just pee?
we're doing mixed media, as we call it. But there's so much tied up in your own personal health in sexuality and how you approach it.
It's wild.
Yeah, and also your sense of well-being in general. Yeah.
I like I said, I've been real angry for a really long time, and now I'm a much nicer girl. People can see a difference. You say, are you sure?
Yeah, a friend of mine was
I'm
like,
a slightly nicer girl.
yeah, just a few weeks ago, my friend was like, I was so angry I had to jerk off before I left the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or stressed.
Yeah.
It actually reduces stress. It's like good for your heart. It's good for your blood
Before
pressure.
yeah.
stand-up shows, sometimes I would like scream at my boyfriend and be like, please have sex. I just need to have sex. I need to, I need to whatever. Even if I wasn't coming, I was like, I need, have to have some kind of chemical something. And now I'm just like, I have this here machine and I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about compulsive masturbators in terms of the women
happens.
folk?
Yeah.
I know so many men who have
Get addicted.
Yeah.
To, I think it
porn and
happens with
everything.
women too, honestly. It's just a type of personality. Like,
Yeah.
if you're an addict in any
Right.
sense, you can,
you can really develop an addiction to anything.
And porn? Do you watch porn? Is that too personal?
No. That was an assignment. We actually interviewed a porn star today. I don't know when this episode, but whatever. You guys will, whatever.
You'll listen to all the episodes.
You'll listen to all the
then-
episodes and then you'll cross-reference. And I was telling him I don't really watch. I've only ever watched it like kind of analytically with like a group of people, like, Yeah.
In the lab.
Yeah.
In the lab.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we conduct our studies.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice as you have ample seating for all the
Yeah.
people, which I
Yeah.
appreciate. Yeah. I've only seen pictures, but we're looking forward to visiting.
We built
Yeah.
a new lab, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, fantastic. Look, expansion's always welcome. Yeah.
So no porn at all. No.
No, I'm just kind of horny.
Okay.
Well, but you
Yeah.
also have had a very vivid imagination.
I have a very
I
vivid
think
imagination.
that, like, for a lot of people, like, I've watched porn for sure. My mind is way too, like, racing all the time with things I have to do and just
I can watch
shit.
Frasier and have an orgasm.
Well, who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Right?
Shawshank
Yeah, exactly.
Redemption.
Yeah.
Shawshank's a little tougher, but I could do it.
Green Mile.
Green Mile.
Oh, God. And that's so long, too. You can really get into
Second
it.
half of Titanic.
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 Do you love Titanic?
I just love the idea of the Titanic.
Well, I love everything about
Yeah.
the Titanic.
My
It's
sister
really
saw it
weird.
7 times in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
We own it. We watch
We
it on
also, you know how
VHS.
most people play like celebrity or the movie game where it's like you say a movie and then somebody has to say a celebrity that was in that movie and then you say another movie that celebrity in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We always play that, but we try to get back to Billy Zane.
Oh,
yeah.
You start
Uh-huh.
with anyone or any
Any-
movie, and somehow you got to get back to Billy
Billy
Zane,
Zane.
and that's how you win.
That's tough.
I
Yeah.
like that challenge.
How old are you now?
29.
29.
Yeah.
29. I'm still that's really 28 is like,
It's so old.
although you know what? I didn't have full penetrative receptive anal sex until I was 30.
Yeah. I mean, I think people do whatever
Yeah,
in
just-
their own
yeah,
time.
totally.
But that was a huge thing too, was people would be like, oh yeah, women actually hit their sexual peak in their 30s. And I was like, okay, I'll just wait. Like,
Takes
you
the
got
pressure
it.
off.
Yeah.
It's like
Back to the
I've got
lazy
time.
thing.
Huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
lazy.
You don't need to build it; it'll just come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's watch Titanic again.
Oh my god.
First half of Titanic, very sexy.
Really?
Have you never seen?
No, I've never seen it. No.
Wait, are you
What?
serious?
Yeah, I've never seen Titanic.
What?
Never
What?
seen Titanic?
No, I've never wanted to.
Oh my god.
No.
What?
It's not that good.
Stop.
I've never seen it.
Also-
it's a long
You're
film.
looking to
Oh
get
my
punched.
Did you find? Were you like throbbing for him?
I
the
was
child.
so young.
The child.
We were
I don't.
young.
It was just a part of my
that's
life.
true.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even like a movie. It was me.
Yeah.
I was the Titanic.
Yeah, I
You
There
were
was a
going
photo
down.
of
Is
me.
this what it was about?
Do you
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that photo?
Yep.
We had like a cousin's bar mitzvah or something.
And it was-
And I also don't really like being in photos. I'm not very like in front of the camera type person. And I went to the photo booth by myself, chose the Titanic as the background, and was just standing next to Leo as if I was Kate Winslet
Yeah.
at age 6.
Really good.
Like,
Look, I love that kind of
Really weird.
devotion.
It really
but
did
I just
strike
have never
a
seen
chord
it.
with
Yeah.
a lot of young ladies.
yeah.
Yeah, we just want a guy to fuck us once and then die.
Drown,
Drown, loser.
Poor person.
Literally, that was one of my first stand-up jokes. Is like, I think like Kate let him die because she got to realizing like, I'm gonna have to marry someone poor.
Yeah. Oh, he was very poor.
Get off.
That movie
Get
gets
off of
weirder
my
and
rack.
weirder every time I watch it.
It's very
I was
strange.
always like, did they not use a condom? Is she going to get pregnant? Now I'm very concerned. And
Yeah.
she's 17.
She's gonna get a UTI. They don't pee. They just run away.
Plus, in that day and age, you know, the treatment.
Yeah,
with them.
not good.
You know, the sexiest part of Green Mile, of course, is when Michael Clark Duncan cures Tom Hanks's urinary tract infection with his magic hand.
Yes.
Stephen King has a very strange
I've never
recurring
seen
trope.
Me neither.
Well, don't bother. It's
Sounds
very
like a
long.
lie.
It's a lot. It's
It is a lie.
It's, yeah.
okay, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, that's what that movie's about. How have I not seen that movie?
That's the only thing I really remember from it. I
Yeah.
mean, he's kind of a magical black person, and that's one of those films. He's
Yeah.
also 3 hours plus.
Oh God.
And
has
but
the
Stephen King
time?
has this recurring thing about urinary tract problems. It's been in about 5
Wait, does
to
he really?
7. It crops up a lot in his work. Yeah.
Interesting.
We've said it so much that people are going to get UTI ads
Just
after
listening to
listening to this episode.
Oh yeah. One could hope.
100%.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your stand-up comedy as well.
Oh, sure.
When did you start doing it?
Like, I guess
Okay,
three
that's
and a
great.
half
Thanks.
years
No,
ago.
that's very good.
No, like 3.5 years ago, I did it because I've always wanted to do stand up. I just didn't know it was like an option really
Sure.
for a while because I wasn't seeing like a ton of like Upper East Side Jewish girls doing stand up. And then I was starting a company and I was putting it on Kickstarter to raise the first round of like funding, and you have to make a video.
Sure.
And I was like, I could either pay some person or I could be like the face of this company. and I started doing improv classes to get comfortable, and then I was like obsessed with improv because I was just having the best. Like, it's 3 hours to get weird with a bunch of people that you don't know and make up stuff. And then one night I was at a jam, which is when you perform with a bunch of randos.
It's like Blues Traveler type of stuff. Yeah,
you put your name in a bucket and you perform with like 8 strangers, and like some of them are really good
you never
and
went
some
to a
of them are
swingers
really
party.
bad. Yeah, that was basically it. Swingers parties for comedy. And my friend, who's my friend now, came up to me and he was like, "You're really good. Like, you should do stand up." And I was like, "I thought so." I was like, "Oh my God, you're so right. Like, I've been thinking that this whole time." And so he kind of like told me where open mics were and like how to like do basic joke structure and stuff. And like Charlotte and I always we talk about, like, I do a joke now that we kind of wrote together when I was like 16. So I feel like I've been doing stand up forever, but it's not been a very long time.
You've been workshopping.
I've been workshopping.
Now you're actually doing it in public.
Yeah.
Now, one of the clubs in New York, was it the New York Comedy Club? Is that the name of it?
I don't know. I mean, I love New York Comedy Club.
Well, I mean,
what
do you
about
perform there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so is that the club where Louis C.K. did his
back?
recent... came back, yeah. Curious, I want to get your take on Louis C.K. because, you know, you like
the
Lady
Cellar
Thought...
first.
Oh, yeah, the Comedy
Yeah.
Cellar.
Yeah.
And the Cellar very much supports him still, which I think is... I was excited for him to come back at some point, but he has said in his statement, he was like, "I'm going to take some time off and listen to what other people have to say." And time for him apparently was 9 months.
Well, yeah.
Which I think is like...
It's enough for a baby. It's enough for...
Yeah, but like, I understand needing to be back on stage. I get it. It fucking sucks. But you also, like, in apologizing for something, have to take stock of what you did and like take time. And if you are going to come back, the reason has to be because I learned, and here's what I learned, and I'm about to tell you, and I hope you guys like it or whatever. And I hope that it's funny and respectful of the shit that I did, because I did apologize. So let's assume no. Now he comes back and he doesn't even fucking address the elephant in the room.
Just talking like about
Parkland shooters saying, and honestly,
and
it's
gender
kind of a funny
people.
joke. Like, the Parkland thing is kind of a funny joke because the way that he is eventually going to, like, it's new material.
Yeah.
And if anybody else was saying it, it would be like, okay, haha, this is something we can laugh at. But dude, you're not in the place to do this right now.
Yeah.
The only thing you should be, I mean, not the only thing, but it has to be something you say. Otherwise, you're just kind of being like, yeah, I did a shitty thing, but deal with it.
Yeah. And also, you people are too sensitive.
Yeah, and a lot of those audiences also aren't warned that he's coming. Some of them are really stoked. Yay, we get to see Louis C.K. We had no idea what a drop in.
Sure.
Other people are like, fucking triggered.
Yeah, right.
Or like, they're like, I paid for this night where I'm going to see this guy who's not even going to say anything. Like,
yeah,
he's not going to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and also he's going to make very insensitive jokes about trans people and gender identity.
The thing is he used to be able to say, he has a joke about the F word, and I used to think it was kind of okay because it seemed empathetic and it seemed like he was an ally and it seemed like he liked gay people and stuff.
Faggot, not fuck. I was like, fuck.
No, you're like, you've been saying that a lot. Like, when did you suddenly become like the PC?
Oh, she came, now she can say fuck, and she's the only one.
No, but he was saying it like, I would never call somebody that if they were fucking a dude, but if somebody is like, I don't really want to go out tonight, or something like that. It's like you're being more of a loser and stuff. Like, that's the and I was like,
negative quality rather than just like a physical act,
right?
But he has a similar exchange about the N-word.
Well, right.
Which is like, fuck.
Yeah. But now that I know that he's not an empathetic person, because you can't be empathetic to do that to other people.
No.
You just can't. And it broke my heart because I was the biggest fan ever. And I was like, let's see this fucking return. Like, let's see him learn something. Like,
dazzle us with his wokeness and his ability to process. No,
now it's not an empathetic person. You're just making jokes about the N-word so you can say the N-word. You're just making jokes about the F word because you want to say the F word. Like, it's It's like all those Trump supporters are like, I want to call people retard and I want to call them gay.
Yeah.
And the other thing is his true darkness has been exposed, and I feel that with comedy especially, it contextually matters so much who the person is, their personality, at least public presenting.
Yeah. I always joke, like, a lot of people would tell me when I wasn't coming, like, oh, it's probably a mental thing or whatever. And I immediately went to, oh, I must be so fucked up. I must want to fuck kids or whatever. And that's something I've said many times because that's literally where my brain went. And I was fucking terrified. If there is something this dark to unlock, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Now I can say that and it's funny now. But if I start fucking kids in 15 years, that's not funny anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Louis also, like, I sort of felt blindsided by it and like tricked almost.
Totally, because he was such a feminist.
Pro women content that's like worshiping the ground women walk on. And
yeah, when actually he was hiding in plain sight by sort of putting up these facades.
It's a weird relationship though too, when someone is so good at something and he's so good at comedy a lot, and then the man behind it is shit, and you're like, come on.
His show too, which he edited himself. You know what I mean? He did everything himself, and you'd be kind of staggered by like, wow, he wrote this, starred in it, directed it, and cut it himself on a 13-inch MacBook.
Inspiring. I was like, you can have so many hats.
Yeah.
Like, I literally would have to spend time with my therapist, 2 full sessions of her convincing me that what Louis C.K. did was wrong. Because I was like, but it's like, he didn't know. And like, what? And she's like, Remy. Like, and then okay, Karen, you got it.
I guess so. But his show.
Yeah.
Although, did you see his film? What was
I Love You, Daddy? I didn't get to. I still want to.
You really need to.
Yeah.
It is the biggest pile of shit, and it's so spooky. Ooh. It's bad for a number of reasons. One of the worst crimes against culture is that it's a blatant, pale imitation of Woody Allen's Manhattan with elements of Crimes and Misdemeanors. It's like it's a bad knockoff. So there's not even like the craftsmanship,
originality of being bad.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's not even like, wow, this is a really well-made movie, and maybe the subject matter is difficult, but no, it's bad on every. It's not like you watch a Roman Polanski film and you go, yeah, he's terrible, but my God, The Pianist is so affecting, where you can still play that.
The penis? No, I'm just kidding.
The magic penis.
The magic penis is so effective. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was just like a cry for like, please, someone put me away. I can't stop showing my dicks to people.
It does feel that way.
What the fuck is that?
Like,
I mean, I don't understand the pathology behind it.
Show your dick to me. I would have been down. Like, just find the people that.
But that's why it's fucked up.
But that's why it's fucked up, because he wanted. I know. Karen said this to me. Yes.
That's why it's a pathology. Yeah. And like, I think that was kind of like, this is a little different, but crazy scandal happened in my high school where this teacher was banging a student, I guess, and. This is someone who a lot of my friends when we were seniors found to be so hot. One of my best friends, I want to totally bang this guy. And like the person he ended up having a sexual relationship with looked like a child.
She was also such a fucking bitch.
There were students.
She didn't deserve him.
She was in 6th grade when I was a senior, and I used to be like, you fucking bitch.
But she was in 9th grade, and she looked 12.
Yeah.
And he could have had 18-year-olds who very much into him, but he didn't go for that. And that's why it's so icky.
Yeah.
And his fiance caught them in bed together.
Yeah, I feel really bad for her.
I feel like if you're gonna go to the length of having sex with a child, wouldn't you make sure
it was a blowy?
Get a hotel room for that child.
Like, you need to really bury that shit.
Right.
My God,
travel a little bit.
Jesus Christ.
But that's why those people are fucked up. It's like they want to be caught. They want to do it with the most wrong person.
Yeah.
Also, if you have the urge to fuck a child, you can always tell a therapist. They're there to help you. People do want to work through stuff, and I
don't think they care to work on it.
No, but some people do. Some people are like Louis used to have a fucking really funny joke about how pedophiles, like, they know it's so bad, but they're also like, it must be so good to them because they still are, because they know what could happen.
Yeah.
Like, some people really don't want to affect another person's life that negatively. And some people want to have a rape fantasy.
Yeah.
And then they can get a robot now instead.
Sure.
And take it out that way.
Or hire a sex worker.
Or hire a sex worker.
Or write a nice little piece of erotica.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Literotica.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta find outlets, but suppressing everything is like
the suppression does not work out well.
Good.
Yeah. And not talking about stuff. You gotta talk about stuff.
We have a special song to close out the episode. Are you familiar with the works of Ms. Barbara Marquet?
Oh yeah, great chanteuse.
First, before we play our closing number, we'd like to thank both of you
guys for
joining
coming.
us.
Oh my God,
Thanks for having
that's what we say.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Let's do a round of plugs for anyone who missed it before. Where can they find the
Round of
podcast?
butt plugs. Okay.
Yeah.
So I am
How
Remy.
did you know that we have a surprise for each guest? In that?
Yay!
Yeah. So join us on Patreon for the results
the perfect
of that.
cap. I am Remy Kassimir. Hello. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Remy Kassimir. How Come is available wherever podcasts are available and also on those social media places at How Come Podcast. And we have another podcast called We Really Love Island, and it's about me talking about a great British reality show.
Is that Love Island?
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
It's
seems
the
great.
Best show.
It
It's the
seems-
only reality show I watch
It seems
because it's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, that's at We Really Love Island.
And
Cool.
what about you, Charlotte?
You can find me on Twitter at Sharkastic, like sarcastic, but my name.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not sure. I don't understand. You worked out. Just
Could you please
can you run
You
it
might
down
be
for me?
surprised. A lot of people don't get it. They think I'm saying that I'm fantastic, like Sharktastic.
Or like
No, it's like
Sharktastic.
Charlotte
yeah.
Kassimir. Like,
Yeah.
it's my name.
Sharktastic. I think it's great.
And on that note,
Okay, well, thank you so much.
yeah, and let's enjoy the works of Barbara Marquet.
Yay.
Hello. I am better than a machine. I am better than a machine. Hello. Hello. You can give your clothes to the laundry. You can give your head to your coke. You can give your love to your mother. And baby, that ain't no joke. You can give your heart to your music. And if you ain't too blind to see, they sure know how to use it, baby. So give your dick to me. Ow! Give your dick to me. Give it to me. Ow! Give your dick to me. Give it to me. Hello. I am better than a machine. I am better than a machine. I am better than a machine. Give your dick to me. Give it to me. Oh, give your dick to me. Give it to me. Hello. When you're just a middle-aged musician, you may think that this is all a big bore, but when you do it in all them positions, baby, you open my pores. Well, you better hurry up or you'll lose it. Then we used to be 103, but you sure know how to use it now. So give your dick to me. Ow! Give your dick to me. Give it to me. Ow! Give your dick to me. Give it to me. Life is only worth living, and part of that comes in giving. So come on, give it to me, baby. Give your dick to me, yeah, give your dick to me. Ow, give your dick to me, give it to me. Hey man, get your shit together. Don't you know that you got such a beautiful thing? Ooh, ooh. And hey man, I'm not into leather. All I wanna do is kiss you nice. I want your ring. Oh, take off your pants, take off your shirt, take off your shoes, take off your skirt. Hey man, give your shit to me. Hello. Hello. You can give your brains to science. You can give your liver to the zoo. You can use your ass like an appliance. Here, polish it up like new. Well, you give good bottom and you know it. Are you tired of all those ladies at your feet? It's 'cause they love your great balls of fire, baby. Give your dick to me. Ow! Give your dick to me. Give it to me. Ow! Give your dick to me. Give it to me. Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Me. Give your dick to me. Ow! Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it. Give your dick to me. Give your dick to me. I want your little Richard. give your love to your mother. And baby, that ain't no joke. You can give your heart to your music. And if you ain't too blind to see, then sure know how to use it. Baby, so give your dick to me. Ow, give your dick to me. Give it me. Give it, give it, give it to me.